he bought a real estate company that did what he was doing as an individual. Then he went out and he bought an oil company. He went and bought a company that literally made him a millionaire overnight. Okay, because the value of the company that he bought was worth well over several $1,000,000.
We are the ones entrepreneurs come to when their business acquisition gurus fail them. We are National Diversified Funding Corporation.
Okay, well, let me again. I get a cloud when somebody asks me that because there are so many. It's like who do I pick? Where do I go? Um, I'll give you one other example that is just fresh on my mind. Um, we had a gentleman who took one of our elementary courses. In other words, we have different levels of courses depending on how serious or how dedicated people are to building business. We have the Bizarre Financing Essentials, which is an entry level program. You take that because am I cut out to be an entrepreneur and buy companies? Well, this is what they'll show you what's involved, how it works. It'll give you techniques and methods, and then they either fit or they don't. They feel good or they don't. So you'll know. Okay, then people usually elevate or upgrade from that to Bizarre Financing Pro, which is more expensive. But now we get into 55 years of experience running this program, training over 350,000 people, having those 350,000 people interact with us. We didn't just give them information and kiss them goodbye. We stayed with them to help them do this stuff. And over that time, the techniques that we developed would be refined by them. They'd come back, tell us what they did. We would then incorporate that into the information. So Bizarre Financings Pro is the most prolific course on acquisition that you will find anywhere because it is the sum total of the experiences of our entire membership over literally 50 years of my private purchasing and then our training of our members and their purchasing as well. So every condition, every economic condition, every scenario that you can imagine occurs in the buying of a business is included, easily indexed and accessible so that you can see exactly how that's handled and how it's overcome. So that's that course. And then we have other programs where we do coaching, where we do mentoring, where we do, where we partner with our members on enabling them to buy much bigger businesses than they could on their own. And we even have a service where it's all done for you. It's like there's a commitment fee, but then it will handle everything. We have our team of experts for each and every function that it takes to make an acquisition. And we just take it and we just get it done. Just get it done from finding the company to evaluating the company to due diligence on the company to negotiating the deals to getting the finance, and we handle it all. All right. So anyway, so that's the range of services that we do. All right. Now, getting back to the individual that I started to talk about, this was an individual who had only taken the basic course. Okay. That's all he did. Take the basic course, learned a couple of pieces of information. But then he and his partner, he brought in a partner, listened to that course, all of the webinars, there's like 50 or 60 of them that go into, each one is an hour. They go into great depth on what to do and how to do it. The basic 2-hour instructional course goes into 2 major techniques that we use and goes into all the how-tos of how to do it. But he listened to those with his partner. He'll tell you 15 to 20 times. And he accustomed himself. He was not a business person, but he accustomed himself to the languaging that we use in our training. So when I talked to him after he did this, he sounded like me. He articulated it the way I would articulate it. He used the vocabulary that I would use. He used the techniques that he learned through those very elementary lessons that he got both from the course itself and then from all the webinars, so that he presented himself. And you thought he was an expert in this stuff. You thought he was highly experienced in this stuff because he learned it. He made it part of him. It literally flowed from his mouth as if he'd been doing this for the last 20 years. That aside, what did he do? Well, he bought a real estate company that did what he was doing as an individual. Because when he came to the program, What he was doing is he would buy a house and flip. Okay. He would buy a house and flip. So that was making him money. And he was relegated to putting all this energy up into buying the house, fixing it up, finding the buyer, getting the financing, doing all those pieces. And by the time he did all that, when you looked at the amount of money he was making, it was a living and not bad living. It wasn't bad, but he wasn't certainly creating wealth. Well, when he heard the program, he got it that you can't make money that way. You can't work in a business. Okay, that was what he was doing. He's working in a business. He's doing all the things. He says you got to work on the business. Okay, that's the first big lesson. You got to work on the business. So in order to do that, you got to have a business that's already operating without you. So he went out and bought a real estate company that was doing, among other things, buying homes, building them up. Some cases they would flip them and sell them. In some cases, they would then hold them as rentals and continue to rent them out. So anyway, he bought that company. He used the techniques he learned without a dollar of his own cash. He went and bought a company that literally made him a millionaire overnight. Okay. Because the value of the company that he bought was worth well over several $1,000,000. And the minute he signed the deal, he had it all financed. He had it all done the way we showed him how to do it. And he's now a multimillionaire, and he did that overnight. So now that was his first one. Then he went out and bought some companies that were synergistic to that. Then he went out and he bought an oil company. Now, this is not an oil company that, goes out and drills for oil and then, you go to the corner and they got their sign on the gas station, right? It wasn't that kind of oil company. This was an oil company that delivered heating oil to the community, right? And it had big storage tanks. It bought the oil from a big oil company, and then it would then distribute that oil as heating oil. So he bought that company. Anyway, he never went past the elementary course. He took those techniques and he just made them work for him over and over and over again. And today he's a multi-millionaire from this couple of strategies that he learned on that basic course that enabled him to move from a person struggling to do the elements of a business to a person who is now owning and guiding the efforts of a businesses that are worth multi-millions of dollars.